6 in the morning. The alarm goes off. Your eyes open, but your mind is already heavy with exhaustion. Before you even have a chance to experience the start of the day, you reach for the screen. Instantly, your brain is flooded. Emails, news feeds, and social media alerts pull your attention toward the demands and opinions of dozens of people you haven't even seen yet. Your day hasn't truly begun, but your focus is already scattered across the globe. We live in a world optimized for maximum efficiency, where we clear inboxes and move between tasks at lightning speed. But this constant optimization creates an invisible wall between our daily routines and our actual lived experiences. We have become experts at being physically present in a room, while our minds are entirely hijacked by whatever we have planned for the future. To understand why we feel so disconnected, imagine your life divided into two conceptual categories. These two boxes represent how we allocate our hope. We tend to toss all our expectations for happiness into the box labeled the future. We tell ourselves we will finally start living after we get the promotion, buy the house, or finish raising the kids. We leave the today box gray and empty. But the logic is flawed. The future never actually arrives as the future. When those dates finally appear on the calendar, they simply become another today. If we never learn how to exist within the reality of a Tuesday afternoon, no amount of future success will ever be enough to satisfy us. Psychologists call this the arrival fallacy, the persistent illusion that once we reach a specific milestone, we will achieve a permanent state of happiness. Consider Arav. He works day and night for the job, but upon landing it, he waits for a promotion. He builds a house, then stresses over the mortgage. Every time he reaches the finish line, it moves further down the track. This cycle turns life into an endless race, where slowing down feels like a weakness. We stay in a state of constant motion because we're afraid of what might happen if we actually stop to look around. By locking your eyes solely on a shifting finish line, you guarantee that you will miss the actual scenery of the life you are currently leading. This perpetual busyness drains our time and simultaneously numbs our capacity to feel. When we are always rushing to the next moment, we lose the sensitivity required to actually process the one we are in. Compare a successful businessman to a quiet gardener. The businessman moves through a dozen cities but feels nothing new, while the gardener stands in the same patch of dirt and notices the subtle shift of a breeze or the first opening of a new leaf. Social media acts as an accelerant for this dissatisfaction. It forces us to compare our messy reality to the curated highlight reels of everyone else. Look at Nikhil and Vivek. Nikhil climbed the corporate stairs, while Vivek found peace owning a small hometown bookstore. If we measure Vivek's success with a rigid corporate ruler, the math fails. It can't account for a slow, meaningful life. Success is not a universal metric. Chasing a definition that someone else wrote only forces you to abandon your own reality. Escalating your level of success won't solve this problem. Solving it requires a shift in how you observe the world. Think of a potter shaping wet clay on a wheel. If he applies sudden, violent pressure, the structure collapses. It is the slow, consistent presence of his hands over time that gives the clay its form. Relationships and internal peace work the same way. They are fragile structures that require patient, steady attention, rather than rushed effort. Take a busy engineer who spends his career building a financial legacy, only to realize his young daughter didn't need the milestones. She just needed 1 hour of his undivided attention on a Sunday afternoon. Long-term memory rarely retains your bank balance or corporate titles. It retains a mother's tea, a father's quiet advice, or a shared laugh in the middle of a rainy afternoon. The ultimate currency of a rich life isn't found in the goals you achieve, but in the ordinary moments you are actually present enough to share. Imagine an old man sitting on his porch as the sun sets. He doesn't regret working hard, but he does regret that he rushed through beautiful days without ever noticing them. Tomorrow morning, before you check a single notification,
take one breath, look out the window, and exist entirely in that minute. A successful day should be measured by what you allow yourself to feel, not just by what you plan to achieve.